Welcome to the ZBK podcast, where we dive deep into the thrilling world of sports. I'm your host, Chris. I'm here with my mates, Josh and AJ. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing great.
Doing just fine.
Doing just fine. All right, we're going to dive deep into some sports today. Whether you're a diehard fan or casual observer, this is going to be the highs, the lows, the everything in between in sports. Grab your headphones. Let's get locked in. All right. Highlights of the week. Josh, you want to go ahead and start with your highlight of the week?
Oh my gosh, dude, shoot. I probably should have. Honestly, it's kind of hard right now with sports being out. AJ's I know is already gassing on your team, but I don't know. I think we can all just appreciate game 2. That was a really good game. I guess I'll just leave that as my highlight. I thought it was a really good game overall, really competitive game, and it was super entertaining. So
Too bad Jamal Murray couldn't hit the step back three.
nah.
Made us lose all that money, bro.
All right, AJ, what you got?
I said my highlight of the week was Karim Benzema getting his last touch for Real Madrid, scoring a penalty, and then leaving as a legend, obviously. So, it's a pretty good highlight.
Nah, tell me your original one.
It was De Gea. De Gea against Man City. Double agent.
Oh, we'll talk about that later on in the podcast. All right, my highlight of the week. I agree with you, Josh, bro. It's hard. It's hard to find a highlight right now when there's one sport prominent. I don't watch baseball a lot, so
The Rays doing well.
the Rays are doing incredible. That we'll make that my highlight of the week. The Rays took 3 of 4 from Boston this weekend. They won 43 of 67 so far this year. So for a minimal money spending baseball team, you know, we'll take it. We'll take 43 wins. So it's a good time here in Tampa Bay.
It's
You know,
huge.
one sports team falters in the playoffs, and hopefully the Rays keep surging and do well. AJ, what do you think about the Rays right now?
I love us. I really like our bats, and I like our starting pitching. We obviously have a very bad relief problem, and it loses us a decent amount of games, but we look really good. So I'm not going to complain about our record. It's also not All-Star break yet, so jury's still out.
Yeah, Josh ripping the brand new Rays hat.
Yeah, sexy Rays hat.
I think I'm just gonna make the Rays my main team, bro. I'm tired of all these rich LA teams.
Yeah, well, Todd Bowley. You can't rep Todd Bowley in 2 different sports, so
Exactly. Can't.
you can only
too
rep him
much.
in one.
It's too much to handle.
All right, let's start off our first segment of the week. We'll move to Europe. Let's go talk some soccer. Manchester United, Manchester City. We'll quickly recap. Hold on, I gotta do math. I'll just do it in 2 words. De Gea.
Okay. All right.
Those are the 2 words to recap what
I
happened
got
on
you.
Saturday, bro.
I got you.
Goodness
Oil,
gracious.
Oil money.
All right, AJ, give us 2 words to describe. Give us 2 words to describe, bro.
I don't even know. I don't have 2 words. It's just like, I don't know. City are just on another level. They're just on another level. They're just gonna beat the piss out of everybody.
There's 2 words though.
No.
But I mean, okay, so
De Gea wasn't it?
Go ahead, AJ, go ahead.
Yeah, De Gea wasn't obviously great, but I don't know. It's just like you just see like United just even struggle to try to score a goal, and City just scores a goal when they need a goal. So
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, I wrote in the notes, like it's not a matter of, because I read some tweets that it's not about what De Gea's blunders were the reason we lost, but it wasn't like the score didn't matter. Like we ended up having more chances in the game. There was at one point right before halftime where we spent 10 minutes dominating them on the ball. So we had chances, we could have scored, but like if you go look, I have it on the notes. Let's look at the bench real quick of City versus United. This is where just your oil money thing comes in. All right,
That's insane.
let's see. Manchester City on their bench had Phil Foden, Nathan Ake, Aymeric Laporte. They had their starting goalkeeper Ederson. They had Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Cole Palmer, Julian Alvarez, and Riyad Mahrez. All those players add up to about $200 million on their bench.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's crazy.
Manchester United have Alejandro Garnacho, Wout Weghorst, McTominay, Jack Butland, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Malacia, Diogo Dalot, Facundo Pellistri, and Anthony Alonga. Those players add up to about maybe $50 million in worth.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, bro.
like, there's
It's more the game we
Squ-
played
whole
against them.
squad on.
The game we played, and they were benching their players, bro.
There's like 3.
It was more, bro. It was more.
they came out with they had 500 million on their bench because it was like De Bruyne, Holland, Grealish, and those 3 players combined were like 350 million by themselves.
Look, you got to think. I held hope that maybe you guys might win.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, bro, they got the league. There's 2 more. That was the second piece they needed. They need 1 more to finish it off. So they were definitely more hungry, dude. You know.
Yeah. All right, AJ, give us your thoughts. We're going into this weekend. City could complete their treble.
Yeah. It's hard not to just say that City will beat the piss out of them because, like we talk about, they have this ridiculous squad full of players, and they have this intensity. Like Pep's never won a Champions League with City. It's the only trophy they don't have in their cabinet, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, this is the chance. And they have what people call a cupcake to play against. But I think football roots for Inter. If you're not a true football fan, then I don't know what to tell you. You're rooting
You're a
for
City
Inter.
fan.
I mean, the credits due where credits due. Making a final is not easy in general. Do they have an easier path? Sure, but
Well,
making a final is making a final. Like if your team was in that bracket, you'd be like, "Our team made the Champions League final." Like it's a big deal. Like they played decent football. Clearly, they're not a bad team. They qualified for Champions League the next year anyway already, because I believe they finished 4th in Serie A. And so, I think they lay over. I think they need to score a goal first. If Inter don't score a goal first, sorry to the footballing world, Manchester City probably takes a steamroller over them for about 3-0, 4-0, 4-1.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's not looking it. Just the matchup is not.
It's not great. They just don't have the same amount of talent, but Cinderella stories do happen.
It's true.
You happen. All right, on to the next. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is retired.
A legend.
The legend is another one. I think there's only 2 players that played in the 1990s that are left in world football right now. You have Gianluigi Buffon, who plays in Serie B in Italy, the 2nd division for his boyhood club Parma. And then you have, I don't know his name, but he's like 50-something years old and he plays in the Japanese league.
Oh yeah.
And that guy will never die, bro. Like, but so Zlatan retires. One of the last players from the 90s left. We're gonna discuss his top 3 moments.
The Lion.
The Lion, bro. Go ahead.
I see you already have it. This was my number 1 for him here. So I'm just gonna give my favorite because I'm an LA Galaxy fan. So when we got news of him coming over to us, I was excited, of course. And he Zlatan the MLS for sure. He was entertaining. But man, dude, his debut was El Tráfico in March 2018. That was after he left you guys at United. I think you terminated his contract, right?
He tore his ACL the year before, and then he never re-signed with us. Yeah.
No, so I remember watching this game. I think I was with AJ at a friend's house.
Yeah.
But we literally came in. The game came on. We sat down from the TV. He came on as a substitute. Inspired the team to come from 3 goals down, bro, to win 4-3. That was an insane, legendary game.
Do you guys remember that first goal, bro? I'll never forget. It's one of my favorite goals
Yes.
of the MLS, bro. He comes
Yes.
on late 30 seconds, pops it over a defender,
Yes.
hits it from 45 yards out.
45 yards, half volley.
Ultimate Zlatan.
And he said after the game, I heard the crowd saying, "We want Zlatan," so I gave them Zlatan. And you know what else I love from him in the MLS? He obviously LAFC are I would say the best, one of the best MLS teams right now, which I don't like because they're an expansion team, and I hate when expansion teams are just instantly good. But he would just absolutely tear up Carlos Vela all the time. And what did he say? He was like, "But Carlos
That is
Vela
why
right
he's
now."
stuck here. That's why. That is why he plays here.
He said, "Where
Yeah.
was I in my prime? Carlos Vela is in his prime now, and he's playing in the MLS." I love
Play
it, dude.
MLS.
I love it. That's mine. What are your guys's?
All right, AJ, let's go ahead and give yours.
I'll take his iconic game against England, where he scores a decent amount in that game, and
All of them, bro.
and he scores in like 9. Yeah, no, he scored all 4, and he scores his iconic bicycle kick
Mm-hmm.
to. I mean, not to ice the game, but like he straight up just like from 40, 30 yards out, just puts it in. I think a lot of people look at that and say, like, that's like the peak athleticism and swagger of Zlatan.
Yeah, that's dude. Ugh, what a guy. And the fact that they based him in Ted Lasso too is Zava. So if you haven't seen Ted Lasso season 3, Zlatan is in it. So great show. I'll go with mine. It is his "Lions don't compare themselves to humans" quote. He was asked in an interview during his when he's playing in the Premier League for United. He got a 3-game suspension. He did this interview with BT Sport over in England that they asked him about his favorite strikers in the league, and he goes, "For me, I like a striker that makes a difference. Lukaku is strong. He's the more physical player that scores a lot of goals. Aguero is also good." They asked him why he didn't include himself in the conversation. Ibrahimovic did not hesitate. He goes, "Lions, they don't compare themselves with humans. As always, there's only one Zlatan Ibrahimovic."
Insane, dude. His best season was 2015-2016. He had 51 appearances. This was PSG. 51 appearances in all competitions for Paris Saint-Germain. He scored 50 goals, including 38 in just 31 Liga appearances. This is insane, dude.
Like, man, that guy, he's gonna go down as one of the best strikers of all time.
Mhm.
From Ajax, starting in Ajax, finishing in AC Milan. Dude, I mean, I've never seen him cry before, but when he cried saying goodbye to
Yeah.
AC Milan, and then he pulled his Zlatan and went to the Hells Verona's fans who were booing him, going, "Why are you booing me? This is the greatest moment of your life, getting to hear me speak to you." Like, look, man, he was off on his career on a high.
Can't wait to use him as an icon in FIFA.
I know, next season, EAFC icon. Here we go. Well, happy retirement to you, Zlatan. You're never going to hear this podcast ever, but hey, happy retirement. All right, let's move on. Let's get out of soccer, get out of England. Let's come back to America. Let's go to Denver. How are we feeling about Denver and Miami, Josh?
All right. NBA Finals. I'm pulling for Miami more so than I'm Denver. I told you guys, I'm content with either of them winning just because it means a lot to either of them. If it was somebody like Golden State that already has won, obviously I'm not going to pull for them, especially because my team isn't in it. But
Wait, AJ, are you pulling for Denver or Miami in this?
I'm gonna pull for Miami. I think Jimmy deserves a ring. Also this is the follow-up to the podcast where we had predicted Game 7, and congrats, Josh, for predicting the Heat to win after losing 3 straight. But hey,
come on.
I guess they deserve to be in the finals for a reason. But yeah, I mean, they earned their spot. So
they did.
Yeah, pulling for Miami.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm pulling for Denver. I don't like. I've talked about you. I don't mind either who wins. I like Jimmy as a player. He's worked his butt off in almost every place that he's been.
Yeah.
Minnesota just wasn't a good place for him. But he's worked his butt off everywhere he's been. I'd like to see him win a ring, but I also love Nikola Jokic, bro. He literally embodies everything that an NBA player should be.
Yeah.
Selfless. He passes, he shoots, he rebounds. So I think it'd be cool to see Jokic get a rebound, get a ring,
A
and
rebound.
then rebound, get a ring, and we'll see. Maybe he'll start to get talked about in that top 3 centers of all time.
Oh, I think he does regardless. And honestly, when we're talking about who did I think Jimmy deserves it, but I think if anyone deserves it too, it's Jokic because man, he's an incredible player. And
Maybe even Aaron Gordon, bro. I mean, he was stuck in the hole that was Orlando. And he got out of Orlando. He got robbed by Dwayne Wade of that slam dunk.
Aaron Gordon's overrated, but he's a fine like role player.
Yeah. So
all right, go ahead, recap those games for us.
let's just recap. Game 1. Coming into the game, I knew Miami wasn't going to win this game. They just had a battle 7 games. But I got your stats here.
Yeah, they battled 7 games, but then they went from Boston, who's not that much above sea level, to Denver, who's the highest sea level point. And then
it was always going to be a battle with the acclimation because that's the biggest advantage Denver has in all sports.
Yeah, every sport.
And plenty of athletes have said hey, it's no joke. Like you get on that court, you start running and you're breathing hard. But I have some of the stats here for game 1, starting with Miami. Bam Adebayo, he 26, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. He went 13 for 25 field goals. Super great game for him.
They let him shoot the ball a lot. Goodness gracious.
Super great game for him. He had to because Jimmy had one of the worst offensive games. He had 13 points, 7 and 7. He went 6 for 14. And then you had Gabe Vincent, which showed up with a nice 19 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. And then your next star in that game was Highsmith, shockingly, with 18 and 2 rebounds.
Wow.
So not a great game for Miami, but as expected from their battle. And Bam finally is playing how he should be playing. Jokic, though, I mean, we'll go to Denver now. Jokic, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists. No surprise, right? Triple-double king. He went 8 for 12. He had 10 free throws made out of 12. I'm going to talk about that later. And he also had he went 1 from 2 3-pointers, and he had a steal and a block. So very good game all around from him. Not shocking. He's trying to set the tempo for the team. Michael Porter Jr., he actually had a good game unlike last night. 14 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist. But he went 2 for 11 from 3-point line. Not a surprising stat line for him. Murray, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Solid game from him. And then you got Gordon with 16 points, 6 assists, and 1 rebound. Nuggets looked good. They looked good. I wasn't really nervous though, because like I said, Joker was on fire. Him and Murray had a 2-man action. Miami didn't have an answer to. Don't think anyone in this entire playoffs has had an answer to them. But very surprised to see Bam have himself a game. He's always needed to be more aggressive, and I'm glad he was. I think it was a rough game for Miami coming in. I think they knew that. Miami had 2 free throws that entire game, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
2 free throws that entire game. The
reffing was Jokic at 12.
The reffing was atrocious that game. Denver had 20 free throws that game. So that's an 18 free throw difference. Denver made 16 of those, of course, 10 of them coming from Jokic. But that comes down to, I mean, that makes a difference in the game. Mm-hmm. But coming into game 2, Miami's had some time to rest, to acclimate, and it was beautiful. Bam, again, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Great game from him. Great game defensively from them. Jimmy Butler, he started off really rough, but he did come back, stopped playing more defense, started taking his shots. He wasn't taking those mid-range jumpers. He had 21 points, 4 assists, and 9 rebounds. Mm-hmm. K-Love started and got 6 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. They went big, so that was interesting.
Yeah, that was the big change. Caleb Martin dropped to the bench. Kevin Love took his minutes.
It worked for them though. Gabe Vincent, again, back-to-back great performances. He's showing up for the team when they need him. 23 points and 3 assists. And then Struce Hot Hands redeems himself from game 1. Absolutely terrible. Looks like he's going straight to Shanghai. He starts a game really hot. He had 14 points, 2 and 6. He went 4 for 10 from 3-point line. He set the tempo for that game, and that was really good, huge. He didn't do much after that, but we'll take that start because that is good. Denver, Bam, or not Bam, Jokic. Jokic drops 41 points. And I know everyone's like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But no triple double from the man. He did drop 41. He had 11 rebounds, only 4 assists. He went 2 for 5 from the 3-point line, more than anyone on his team. So think about that for a second. Gordon, he went 12, 7, and 2. Murray went 18, 4, and 10. They did a really good job this game containing him. Michael Porter Jr., terrible game. Absolutely terrible. I didn't even know, like, I could shoot better than that guy, bro. He went 5 points, 6 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 for 8 from the field goal, and 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. Listen, the way everyone's disrespecting the Heat, bro, acting like they didn't take out the best team in the Eastern Conference, the second best team in the Eastern Conference. We knew they weren't going to take game 1 after going 7 games with the Celtics and playing at that altitude. But that guy Sproul, bro, he's a basketball mastermind. He's the Pep of the NBA. He knows what he's doing. They're going to let Jokic get all the points he wants, but nobody else is touching that ball. Gabe Vincent, aka Himable Vincent. The boy is Himothy worthy, bro. Michael shoots the ball. Junior is going to ruin that team if he keeps shooting bricks because, man, he didn't look like a basketball player. That game 2 was a good game. Miami started the game hot. Struce setting the tempo. Didn't last long in the second quarter because Denver's second unit, led by Bruce Brown and Christian Brown, boosted the defense and Miami couldn't score a bucket. But the Heat went on a run in the end of the first half, cutting down the lead to 6. I remember I was talking to you, Chris, and we're like, oh, dang, the Nuggets are up. And then we're like, dang, it might be a blowout. And then they cut it down to 6, which was huge. In that third quarter, Miami defense was locked in. Denver could not get a shot off, and the score stayed very tight. And it came down to that fourth quarter. Denver's wagon started getting dismantled. The Heat's zone defense was killing Denver, dude. It was absolutely killing Denver. Gabe Vincent was clutch for them, and he definitely deserves to be the starting point guard for the Heat. Those 2 games were going to be the toughest for Miami, in my opinion. And now the series is coming to Miami, baby. So Tyler Hero will be back for game 3, I believe. But the question is, does he start? I don't think so. I think Miami have gotten there. I mean, they've gotten there without him. And throwing him in might alter that chem that they've had. And I think you bring him in the second unit. But you know what? Whatever they decide to do, I know Spoelstra is going to do what's right because he's just the man.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think Hero starts, but big fact for Miami, and this is for you guys pulling for Miami. Miami has lost game 1 in every NBA championship they've won. So, I mean, losing game 1, everybody in the world knew Miami was losing game 1. Play 7 games against Boston. It was a tough series. Then they have to travel 4,000 feet above sea level or however high Denver is. And then, they get no rest. So now they're back. You're back in it. Like, you got to feel good. Game 3 is Wednesday night. We're recording this on Monday night. So we're going to go a quick fire preview. AJ, give me your one thing that has to happen in game 3 for Miami to come out victorious.
I think you definitely need Tyler Hero to have a decent amount of points to give yourself a little hope as a Miami Heat fan, because then you'll feel a little more confidence about, oh, we have even more scoring. I mean, it's not like you haven't received it, but it's like, I know that guy can score. I believe Bam just needs to keep up his performances. He can't have a bad performance. He just needs to keep being consistent, because the Celtics series, he was trash.
Well, he was consistently trash, so there's that.
Yeah, he was consistently trash, but he was bad. So he needs to keep up his point scoring and rebounding.
All right, Josh, give us your one thing that needs to happen, just in general in this series for game 3.
I think that
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the Heat have to keep that game and build momentum off of it, because with teams like Denver, if you give them any kind of game where they shouldn't get, they're gonna take it all the way. I think a huge thing for them is, like AJ said, Bam. We know what he's capable of. We've seen him at his best, but for him, it's a consistency thing. With Jokic, it's not. So, like I said in the other podcast, when he is getting locked down, it's a scorer. When he's not scoring, it's an easy pivot for him to be a facilitator. Obviously, he wasn't a facilitator in that last game, but he scored 41 points for his team. So Bam needs to be able to step up, because Butler can't do it by himself. And I think in those last 2 games, it was Bam not doing it by himself. So I think Bam needs to keep it up. Butler needs to step up, and levitate his teammates around him. And hopefully, if Hero does play some minutes in that next game, that he can feed off that.
Yeah. All right, on the Denver side, I mean, we're gonna keep dogging on him, but Michael Porter Jr. has to shoot the ball better, bro. I mean, 1 of 6 from 3, like his trademark thing, right?
Michael
is
Porter needs to not shoot. That's Michael Porter just needs to not shoot. That's what he needs to not do.
I agree. I think the guy literally will get the ball in transition and thinks he Steph Curry can pull up for 3 and make it every time. I mean, we're seeing the stats like I love the eye roll, but I mean it's true, bro. He went 1 for 6 in game 2. I mean, he's got to shoot the ball better, but I think this is where it's gonna be a battle of the coaches in this series. Like the players are gonna do their thing, but you're already seeing Spoelstra's impact in that zone. Like that zone took out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in that Boston series.
Mhm.
They had to rely on Smart and Derek White to score, and
Yep.
Denver doesn't have the depth that Boston does to score points. Christian Brown is a rookie; he's not ready yet. Bruce Brown is a role player who gives you 8 to 12 points a night.
Mhm.
KCP is good for that quick release 3. Like they don't have depth like the Celtics did to score points. So it's going to be up to Mike Malone to be like, all right, Spoelstra, I see your zone. What can we do on offense to stop that, or how can we stop you guys on offense?
Yep.
But another thing, Jokic is doing everything he possibly can. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to his teammates shooting the ball better.
Mhm.
But look, man, if he's got to score 40, 50 points a game, he has to. But weird stat, though, every time he scored 40 points in the playoffs this year, Denver's lost. So they're 0-3 when he scored 40 points. It's interesting to me. But it's just going to come down to, can he get more than 4 assists in a night? Can Michael Porter Jr. hit a shot? Can Aaron Gordon, can he hit a 3? He had a big 3 last night in that game, but we'll see. We'll see what game 3 looks like. I'm excited. It should be good. It's in Miami. Miami's going to be, party city. Those fans are going to be ready for the NBA Finals to be back in Miami again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the last time they were in the bubble, so it'll be. But the last time, so they had the bubble, and then before that, they haven't been in the championship since LeBron was there, right?
Who? Miami?
Miami, yeah,
Miami,
yeah. Before,
I believe so. Before the bubble, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So probably, but it was like 2015, 2014 maybe.
Yeah, that's almost 10 years.
So
ago
not
now.
that long ago. They had suffering that long.
Yeah, but in basketball terms, that's 10 years. Like 2014 doesn't feel like that's that long ago, but I mean,
That's a long time. I mean, think about what's happened in the last freaking.
LeBron's been on 3 different teams in those 10 years. So
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Interesting.
I think that Denver needs to. It's crazy, because without Jokic, where does Denver fall?
They're not a playoff team without Jokic.
No, not at all. He really does control that game for them, and I think Spoelstra knows that he would rather Jokic be a scorer than a distributor, because if he's going to let Jokic score those points, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do the same thing next game. But if his teammates aren't going to receive the good looks that he gives them often,
Yeah,
we know, like it's going to come down to, can Michael Porter Jr. be a clutch shooter? I don't think so. Murray's going to have to step up. He's going to be hounded on that game. But yeah, you need to have your guys around you be levitated
Yeah,
And
they
I don't
talk.
know.
Yeah, they talk about in that Boston series where when Jimmy and Bam weren't playing well, you need your best players to play like they're the best players.
Mhm.
So the game three is going to be good. I'm excited for the rest of the series. It's going to be competitive. People don't like
Yeah.
this series a lot because it's Denver versus Miami. It's not big name teams and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
this is good for the NBA. All right, we'll be back in 2 seconds with the main portion of the podcast. All right, let's go into the main portion. We're going to talk about the NBA offseason a little early. Big NBA pod again today. As you know, it's still going on, its relevancy. Let's do it. Let's go to the offseason. Bleacher Report wrote this article in March. Most recent one about surprising NBA offseason trades to start thinking about now. We're going to go through the 5 trades that they wrote in this article. Greg Swartz, one of their writers, wrote this in March 31st of this year. We'll start with number 1. We've got Tyus Jones to the Chicago Bulls for Alex Caruso, Dalen Terry, and a 2026 second-round pick. He wrote, with Lonzo Ball recently undergoing his 3rd knee surgery in little over a year and likely missing most, if not all, of the 2023-2024 season, the Bulls need help with the point guard position this summer. Jones is arguably the best backup point guard in the NBA. He's done a terrific job filling in for John Morant as needed with his, therapy sessions because he can't put his gun away. Assuming Chicago wants to keep its core Levine, DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic together, getting Tyus Jones in a trade would help push the Bulls back into the playoffs. Tyus is playing out the final year of his deal, would be playing out the final year of his deal next year. So the Bulls could see where Lonzo Ball is next summer in 2024, but getting Tyus Jones as their point guard wouldn't be too bad. They're giving up Caruso, who Lydia is just there for defensive rating, in my honest opinion. Dalen Terry was the 18th pick in the 2022 draft. He doesn't look like he's going to pan out to be the greatest draft pick as of right now. So we'll see what we can get there. AJ, what do you think?
It's not bad. It's not a bad trade. It's definitely something that they probably want to explore. Do I think it does anything for them? Not really. I feel like they could pick up a guy from their G League and probably maybe get the same production for what Tyus Jones will bring. Not to say Tyus Jones is scrub.
They got Pat Bev
Clearly
right
he
now,
got starting minutes, but like there's just more value in signing a guy somewhere than trading all those assets for a product that probably doesn't push you to the playoffs. Not even like maybe playing again.
Oh, there we go. And Tyus Jones in his 21 starts this season. He averaged 16.6 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.7 steals, and he shot 42.2% from 3. So he is a good role player. Obviously, he only started those games because Ja got in some trouble with the league. But hey, for a role player guy like Tyus Jones, that's not bad. I agree with you, AJ. I don't think he pushes them into the playoffs. DeRozan is getting old. He's not the player he once was in Toronto. Zach LaVine is good, but he's in DeRozan's shadow. And I don't know what I like to this day, man. Vucevic is just like Bam Adebayo and Embiid for me, bro. You're a center and you can't grab the ball when it comes off the rim. Like you can shoot the ball great, but I need you to grab rebounds. So I agree with you, AJ. I don't think they pushed them into the playoffs. Josh, any thoughts from you there?
I don't. I mean, it's just kind of like how much better will it get if it does get better, you know? I don't think that Memphis gives him away, especially with what's going on with Ja. Because
Again.
they don't even know if they're gonna have him for the season. So
Apparently it's half the season he'll be suspended.
Even if it's half a season he's suspended, they're gonna need him, and the results that he gave them was really pretty decent. I mean, he knows the way the team works. He works well with the team, and I don't know, with Tyus Jones, I feel like he's the best backup point guard for them because it's with them. I don't know if he continues that. His stats aren't like, they don't make me go like, oh wow, get that guy on my team.
Wow, we need this guy. He could be great.
No, I mean I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a trade where, if they want to just do it for fun, I guess, like,
Yeah.
do it. But I don't see Memphis getting rid of him unless they get something really nice. But they're not gonna want to just get rid of him with Ja freaking playing Call of
Yeah.
Duty.
Yeah. Their only concern is that Tyus Jones, if he plays even next season, he could walk and they get nothing for him. They
Right.
drafted rookie point guard Kennedy Chandler last year. So maybe if they do move Tyus Jones, Kennedy Chandler takes over that starting role if Ja's out. But I mean, if they do move Tyus Jones, at least they get something now instead of losing him in the offseason for free. All right, number 2, Portland Trailblazers trade OG Anunoby and Thaddeus Young for Anthony Simons and Keon Johnson. Swap the two of the brightest
Sounds
young
like-
players. Yeah.
It's just like fodder, bro. They're just trading the trade. What is this BR article?
Hey man, they got to create content,
I like
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah, well, the big talk this offseason is OG
I
Anunoby
do
going
like
to get
OG.
traded?
Yeah.
Is he going to get moved? And the Blazers or the Blazers aren't going to move right now. It doesn't look like they're going to move Dame. There's not any realistic talks about them moving Dame yet. They don't know if they're going to keep Dame. They're going to keep the 3rd pick or what they're going to do with that. That organization has no clue what direction they're going.
Yeah.
At one moment
No,
you think
they don't.
they're going to rebuild. One moment they're like, oh, we're going to go in all in now.
Yeah. As a player, it's kind of like, get me out of there. I think Fred VanVleet is going to be a free agent soon.
I believe if not this season, the next season he's a free agent.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's pretty close.
it wouldn't be a bad move for Portland.
That's not bad. Let's see. Simons put up 21.2 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 4 assists in his first season as a full-time starter. Obviously, he was one of the few bright spots in that Portland team. It does say Fred VanVleet will be an unrestricted free agent this offseason, as well as Gary Trent Jr. So if they lose Fred VanVleet, this trade could give them back that scorer distributor in Simons. Simons is still young, he's still raw. But in the Blazers corner here, you have Shaedon Sharpe, you drafted last year. They play the same position, Sharpe and Simons. So if you keep both of them, one of them's getting hindered, and you're more likely hindering Shaedon Sharpe there. He didn't play much in his time in Kentucky, but I mean that kid, electric. From the highlights I've seen him play, he's electric.
Yeah, he's a solid guy.
So I mean, you put Sharpe in at that 2. I mean, you move Simons out. Simons gets to go be that bright spot in Toronto now. He gets to be the face with Siakam, who's another trade candidate for Portland or for Toronto. But and OG gets to play the 3 for the Trailblazers. So I like it. It doesn't make a big thing. Like as you used to the beginning, it's literally just fodder trade. It really is. Like this isn't like groundbreaking big thing for them, for Portland or for Toronto. All right, number 3. This one's my favorite because it is just stupid. San Antonio Spurs trade Doug McDermott. That's it. They receive Ben Simmons and a 2023 unprotected first-round pick via Phoenix Suns, which will probably end up in the 18 to 23 range.
Here's my problem with this portion of the article, bro.
Yeah.
Spurs buy low on Ben Simmons. Nets add another sniper. Who's the sniper?
Doug McDermott's a sniper. Bro.
Who? Ben Simmons, bro? We're talking about Ben Simmons, right? Like that guy.
Guy can't hit a shot outside the 3-point line. I'll take any moment to relish in trashing Ben Simmons. That guy should be playing in China at this point in his career.
Super kind of off topic, but in my fantasy league, I picked up Ben Simmons because he was later down. I didn't really, and this was my first year playing fantasy, bro. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, Ben Simmons is absolute hot garbage, dude. Like I wouldn't want that guy touching my team at all.
Yeah, so if they make this trade gives San Antonio $25.7 million left in cap space. But to be fair, Doug McDermott, bro, I don't know why they're calling him a sniper. Like, good for this guy. This guy got a lot of clicks on this article for this, but like Doug McDermott was good in college, bro. He has not been good since. He's been bounced around the league. But to be fair to Ben Simmons, yeah, he's not great. But who better to turn him around than arguably the greatest coach of all time and Greg Popovich? Like, if anybody can do
Yeah,
this, Pop
but
can.
he can't handle criticism. Ben Simmons can't handle criticism. He is called a little soft baby by Sixers fans, and then they don't love me or whatever. Like, yeah, of course they don't love you.
Yeah.
You can't score two. You couldn't even score.
Hey, he might have open
It's not
layups
a
that
great
he turned
move.
down.
No. Yeah. I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah, this move gets Brooklyn under the projected salary cap, which they desperately need considering they're paying Dinwiddie a ton of money. Paying Ben Simmons' contract is literally 2 years, $78 million. Like the guy's making $39 million the next 2 seasons. So the Denver or Brooklyn needs to get off these deals. They need to do something because what do they have left, bro? They're gonna be paying the luxury tax and everything. All right, moving on. Utah Jazz trade Colin Sexton, OJ Abaji, Kelly Olynyk, 2023 first-round pick unprotected via the Timberwolves, and the 2025 first-round pick unprotected via Cleveland Cavaliers. And then they received from Atlanta guard DeJounte Murray and John Collins. I do like this. This is my favorite one so far. John Collins needs to get the heck out of Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the end of a terrible love story there in Atlanta. This is a toxic relationship. He hates Atlanta. They hate him. It's time to go. And Atlanta gets younger. They get Colin Sexton, who former Sexland member in Cleveland with Darius Garland. This would be Colin Sexton's third team in 2 years. I mean, he goes from Cleveland to the Jazz to now Atlanta. OJ Abaji is a good young player.
Which raises questions for me. I just like that. It's a good trade. It just on the Jazz's end, it might seem like a little too much because in that trade they're giving up 3 starters, and also we talk about DeJounte Murray. He hasn't been really the same since he got traded from San Antonio to Atlanta. He hasn't been like terrible or anything. He just hasn't been that same level of production I think Atlanta expected out of him. And so I don't think it's a bad move, and I think it's actually probably realistic. But you just question whether or not any of the players moving are gonna improve their production by going to Utah or Atlanta.
Yeah,
I think a part of that problem is Trae Young being on that team with him too, though, to be honest. But I like that trade a lot because I think Utah becomes a lot better.
They become a true contender again.
They don't need Olynyk, bro, because they have Walker Kessler on that team that when Olynyk was out, that guy was an absolute beast, bro.
Kessler's a baller, man.
And if
Pretty good.
In my opinion,
And they have Lauri Markkanen still, right?
Yeah. In my opinion, if Kessler started from the beginning of the season and Olynyk wasn't taking up minutes, I think Kessler could have won Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, because when he was getting the time and Olynyk was, I don't know, I hate that guy. I don't like him at all. He's garbage. But when he was getting minutes, he was incredible, bro. And he was also a player I had on my fantasy team. So I knew like his performances game after game, and he's a solid guy.
Yeah, Kessler played well. I mean, this makes the Jazz contenders again. I mean, Markkanen, Clarkson, Kessler, Taylor Horton Tucker. They're ready to go back.
Clarkson's out this year. He's allowed to walk. He's I believe a restricted free agent. Yeah.
Which the Clippers are apparently looking at.
He's not terrible. He's good.
No,
man.
He's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Jazz have traded away Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, and Jared Vanderbilt over the last 9 months. And if they make this, they could sell up in the play-in tournament next year. Like, there's a few all-stars in there. There's some good young players in there. But I mean, I think this trade works out for everybody. DeJounte Murray will be a good 2-guard there in there, and John Collins becomes a good. If he has to start, he starts, but he could be a good 6-man there as well. Last one. This is a fun one. I genuinely think this could happen because the Clippers have to start making moves like this.
I like it. Bro.
Paul George
right now. tell you right now, I like it.
This is good for Clippers Nation. Paul George goes to the New York Knicks. The New York gets their superstar, their face. They didn't get Donovan Mitchell. They didn't get Zion. They didn't get John Morant. They ended up with RJ Barrett in that draft. They missed Donovan Mitchell in a trade and all that last year. So the New York Knicks received Paul George, and they traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein. Obi Toppin just hasn't worked out for them. Really just hasn't performed. Julius Randle is broken up last couple of years in the regular season. Obviously, he's been awful in the playoffs. But Toppin's not working out. Isaiah Hartenstein is a really good backup center. He'd be really good behind Ivica Zubac in LA. And RJ gets a fresh start, bro, because he's sitting behind Brunson and Randall as ball handler now. And I think if he goes there, he gets learned under Kawhi, unless Kawhi gets moved as well. But I mean, the Clippers get younger there.
The main reason why I like this, and who knows if it happens or not, but is I think as a franchise, we do need to make some moves with younger guys to be able to rebuild, which we're afraid to do as a franchise, because without our stars, PG and Kawhi, it's like we're not making the playoffs. We're not gonna do well. But I think RJ Barrett's a great player. Obi Toppin, he's when he does good, he does good. And he could be solid. I think the biggest thing for me I do love Paul George. There's no doubt that he's not a talented player, but he is hurt so much. And does it say how many games he's missed in this?
Too many, bro.
I think he missed half. I think he missed close to half.
He failed to play more than 56 games in a season since being traded to the Clippers 4 years ago. So the problem for us, and it was a problem again in this playoffs, is we literally didn't have Kawhi Leonard. We didn't have Paul George. We were playing, we had Kawhi for a little bit, but when we didn't, like that team that we were playing with against the Suns, who have Booker and KD, like, and that's the story for us. Like every season, they're gonna get hurt. And if we can bring in young guys like someone like RJ Barrett, I think that we can start to progress towards being like something that's long lasting and stable and that we can build off of. So I like it. I mean, I hope they look at things really deeply, and consider things like that, but it's cool to me.
You should. You guys need to get younger to get better. All right, those 5 trades are done. Let's go to another Bleacher Report article real quick about the draft. Zach Buckley wrote this. Hopefully this one looked better than Greg's, but hey, we'll see. So he has the draft going, Wembanyama at 1. This article is about the 3 trades that could mess up the top 10 and make a big impact for the top 10 in the draft. Obviously, Wembanyama is going 1, the greatest prospect since LeBron James. Then you got Brandon Miller going 2, Amen Thompson going 3 to the Blazers. All right, number 4. We're gonna keep talking about Toronto because everybody loves to talk about Toronto right now because they're in a changing environment. Mm-hmm. Should be good.
Yeah, they got a lot to think about. I believe Toronto. They have good pieces. They have Pascal. They have good guard play. They have the thing is like it's one of those places where you're just stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Like it's not like they have aging veterans or anything like that, but it's like what as a franchise are we going to do to take it to the next level? And I think they're stuck in that a little bit right now. So I think that they keep riding with it, in my opinion. I think that they keep riding.
You're muted, brother.
Oh, I like where they're at. I agree. They should ride with what they got. But Bleacher Report, this article has Toronto trading for the 4th pick with Houston. Toronto would receive Kevin Porter Jr., Kenyon Martin Jr., so a 1 and a 3. They'd get the 4th pick and they get a 2025 first round pick, top 4 protected. and they would send Pascal Siakam to the Rockets. The Rockets get veteran play in Siakam. They give up their starting point guard, Kevin Porter Jr., and their backup small forward, Kenny Martin Jr. But you can't miss out when you're getting Siakam. Siakam's an all-star player. He's an incredible guy. And then they have Toronto taking Scoot Henderson at the point guard position. So he replaced Fred VanVleet. They would let him walk in the offseason, and then Kevin Porter Jr. go right into that 6-man role there in Toronto. What are you guys' thoughts?
I like Scoot. I think Scoot's going to be a good player in the NBA, but do I see him having more production than Pascal Siakam? I think they might be equal. It's one of those things where it's like you're getting some value and you're getting a little bit of futures there, but I think I think you should keep him around for a little bit longer because it's not like he's bad. It's not like he's done anything to deserve getting shipped off.
Yeah.
So I think the pick that they have right now, I think they can get a decent player and ride it back.
No, yeah. I mean, he doesn't deserve to be shipped off, but like, look what they're receiving just for him. That's the player he is.
I mean, yeah, if you're getting the 4th overall pick for Siakam, you can't.
I don't know though. I mean, with like we already said with the Raptors, like what's going on there? Like they're like Tottenham Hotspurs, bro. Like, do players want to go there? And that trade is kind of risky for them because it's kind of like they get rid of Pascal, and if the guys that they receive don't perform, then what happens to them?
Yeah, where do they go? All right, move on. We'll go down to pick 6. This is the Magic have this. This is their pick at 6. Bleacher Report guy has them trading pick 6 to the Portland Trailblazers. Pick 6, pick 11 from Chicago, and a 2025 top 3 protected first round pick. Along with Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, and Jonathan Isaac, to Portland for Damian Lillard. Here's your Damian Lillard trade.
Now this one I do like. This one I do like just because I think the Magic do need to get rid of that 6 pick because they have a decent amount of talent on their roster. And I think drafting someone in this draft, or do they have Jarace Walker going here? Is that really going to help their team all that much? I don't think so. So I think getting Damian Lillard, getting a good veteran player would definitely help the Magic, especially with all the young guys they got down there. And I mean, I wouldn't say what Orlando's giving up is anything like incredible. Jalen Suggs has been okay. He hasn't really like proven anything really. Markelle is a good, he's okay, but like he hasn't ever been the same since he got drafted. And then Jonathan Isaac is a walking injury. I don't even know the last time that guy's played a full season as well. Have you ever seen the meme where like he's getting like pray that they heal his ACL or whatever after you like shattered it? I think it's a really good move for Orlando. Do I think Portland accepts it? I don't know.
Dame wants to go to the Lakers, bro. He already said on Instagram Live.
Yeah, exactly. He wants
said,
to go to a contender.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He doesn't want
or a big market.
He doesn't want to be a part of something where he has to wait for people to develop. My boy wants to win, bro. That's it. It's simple.
Yeah, I think Portland's got to choose. They can't have the number 3 and Dame. This gives them clarity on everything. This gives them that hey, we're gonna wipe the slate here. We get a former number 1 pick in Markelle Fultz. We get Jalen Suggs, who still going to develop. Jonathan Isaac, they say, is only in here to make the money work. But if he can shake his injuries off for good, he'd be decent for them. Then getting pick 6, pick 11, and a 2025 top 3 protected first is a really good haul for one of the best point guards in the game. Obviously, I don't know if Dame would want to go here. I know he wants to go to those big markets, his LAs, your Bostons, your wherever that has cap space for him. That's a contender now. But in all honesty, I don't think the Magic are too far off from playoff team. They're more playoff ready than I think Portland is right now. Banchero just won Rookie of the Year. He's great. Franz Wagner at the 3 is an incredible talent. Wendell Carter Jr. is mid at best, but he's he's survivable for right now. I mean, and the Magic also have Cole Anthony still, who can play point guard, shooting guard. So I mean, the Magic aren't.
They also have Bol. Don't forget they have Bol.
Never forget Bol. But I think the Magic are more playoff ready than people want to admit. And I think if Dame goes there, I mean, basketball grows in Florida even more if Dame comes to Orlando. I'd go to more games. I'd go to a couple basketball games if Dame's in Orlando. But
yeah, we know Chris loves Dame, bro.
Dame's fun to watch, bro. He's fun to watch. All right, last trade is again Toronto. We talked about OG Anunoby already, but they bring him back up here, to the Mavs for THJ, Josh Green, the 10th pick in a 2027 first round pick. I don't hate this trade for Dallas. They get better defensively and they get still get some scoring from OG, but I'd like to counter this trade and I'd like to move. Me and AJ talked about this earlier. I'd like to move this 10th pick to somebody else. I'd like to move it to LA, to the Lakers. I'd like to take THJ. You get the expiring contract of Davis Bertans. You give him Josh Green. You give pick 10. You can give him the 2027 first. I don't care. You can give him 2025 for all I freaking care. You throw in Jaden Hardy, their pick last year, and you go get LeBron James. Dallas needs that. Mark Cuban has to make a move before the fans call for his head and everybody else's head there. Luka needs to be happy. Kyrie Irving literally came out this week and said that he wants Dallas to go and trade for LeBron. So I think OG is good, yes, and he's young, but I mean, at some point, Dallas, come on, you got to make your players happy and your fans happy. So, I mean, LeBron James to Dallas.
I just love it, just because it just seems that LeBron, it's either he's staying at the Lakers one more year, just because Bronny's over there, or he's just retiring, still living in California, and then coming back a year later. I don't really see a world where LeBron goes to the Mavs. I don't think it's a bad move. I just think that he probably doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
LeBron only moves when he gets to choose. Also, by the way, he has never been traded.
Yep.
So,
yeah. If anything, Kyrie's gonna go to the Lakers, and that's Dallas assuming that Kyrie stays.
Yeah, I think the only way they get Kyrie to stay is if they go and at least try to get LeBron or get LeBron. But I do think I don't hate seeing LeBron in Dallas. I think it'd be fun. It'd be cool to see LeBron get traded for the first time in his career. But I do think the Lakers, unless they want to sacrifice all of their bench and depth to sign Kyrie and go full luxury tax team and have hardly any depth, or I mean, you can get LeBron. LeBron gets out. You get a little bit more flexibility in Dallas with LeBron, Kyrie, Luka. But I mean, again, these are all this is hypothetical. All these 8 trades we talk about are hypothetical. But hey, I mean, could you imagine how big Texas would be now if you get James Harden back in Houston, LeBron goes to Dallas, and Wemby in San Antonio? Yeah, that's gotta be some fun in Dallas right there. And I mean, in Texas, it's good. All right. Let's go to our last thing of the day. AJ, take the reins of the horse here. Let's go talk some football.
We're talking NFL. We're talking way too early NFL again. And we're going to talk about some underrated and some overrated teams. We'll talk overrated first. I think one of the most overrated teams in the NFL
Tampa Bay Buccaneers
is the Chicago Bears right now. All the Twitter, just everything. They spent a bunch of money this offseason, right? First of all, their team won 4 games last year. They spent a bunch of money in the offseason, which they should have, because they have a bunch of cap space. So they spent all this money. They get okay players. I think they got Tremaine Edmonds. I think they got a linebacker. They got okay players, but just the fact it all depends on Justin Fields taking the next step, and I just don't see it happening. he just doesn't really have. He hasn't shown me any arm. Like I know people knock on Jalen and Lamar. At least Jalen and Lamar can hit people when they're open. I haven't seen Justin Fields hit a guy open once this season. Like he has to scramble for about 15 seconds before he finds somebody. So I'm just not high on him. They could shock me. They could do that, but Chris, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I disagree. I saw Justin Fields hit Equiminius St. Brown for 70 yards one game last season. So there's at least one time that he's hit a receiver deep. Okay, there's one time.
I'm not high on him. I'm sorry. He could prove me wrong. We'll talk my number one underrated team. I guess they're not really underrated anymore though, because a lot of people are rooting for them. But I would say the Lions, just a strong roster. Like they have good quarterback play out of Jared Goff. They have a solid defense. They continually their draft this year was a little shoddy. I will say that I don't know what you're doing if you're going to trade down. You're going to trade down because you think you're not going to take Jalen Carter, but you're going to take a running back. But if you're going to take a running back that high, you should just take Bijan at 6. Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs is like I don't know what is that, but otherwise they have a good coach. They won 9 games last year. They have enough talent to be a 10-win team. I think people still kind of underestimate them because they're a poverty franchise or whatever, and they really haven't won anything since the 50s or been anywhere since the 50s. And so I just think it's a team that's going to fly under a lot of people's nose, like especially like if you're a 49ers, Eagles, like if you're a Chiefs, like if you're playing them, or I would say NFC, like in the playoffs, like they're gonna go under your nose because like you're gonna be like, oh yeah, like they're okay, and then they might beat you. So those are my number ones, but I have 2 more for each category. My second, I'll just go back and forth. My second overrated team is the Giants because they are also just bad quarterback play away from being not good. They have an okay roster, and I think they played a little bit above their talent level this past season, and that's totally okay. That's totally good. But I just think they threw a bunch of money at Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is like Kirk Cousins to me, law averages. I just don't. Also, the team success is also based on a guy who has been pretty brittle for most of his career, and Saquon, and then it also depends on his health and availability this season. And I know last season he was pretty healthy, and obviously he was a big part of their success. But like, do we think he's gonna be healthy again? Because like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad he was healthy, but he's definitely a guy who gets injured a lot. And I also think the defense is a little pedestrian. And I don't. Kayvon Thibodeau was good, but a lot of the other pass rushers were not very exciting to me and didn't get enough pressure. And sometimes the secondary was a liability. So they slot in as my second overrated. And then my second underrated team would be the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are really good. Obviously, they made the playoffs last year. They also have a good coach in Doug Peterson, good coach. And they have good quarterback play out of Trevor Lawrence last year. And I just think they also have no expectations. What else none of the fans expected them to go to the playoffs. They were literally dead to rights last season. It was ridiculous. But they have the potential to be good. Honestly, if you look at the division, they're probably winning the division again. And I just think they go up from here. I think you get better play out of Trevor Lawrence. I think you get better play out of his receivers. I think the defense does a good job again, and I just think that they're cruising.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be really good this season. They have the pieces. If they don't win their division, bro, they're frauds. That's all I have to say. I'll let you get to your third teams, but that's all I have to say.
This is your third? Muted.
He's going to his third right now.
Oh, I thought he was going reversed.
So I will go with my. Actually, no, it's the second. It's the second overrated, or no, third. It would be the third overrated
Buffalo
team.
Bills.
I apologize. The Buffalo. I picked them to be the Super Bowl champions. How can I call them overrated?
They are overrated.
I was gonna say the 49ers, bro.
Nah, bro.
I hate the
Buffalo
49ers.
Bills.
I'm such a. Do you want? Okay, go ahead. Why are the Buffalo Bills overrated?
Because two of their
Go
biggest
ahead. Do you think
needs,
they're?
two of their biggest needs remain unfilled, bro. Even through early free agency and the draft. They still lack a reliable third receiver. You just hate the 49ers, bro.
Isaiah McKenzie is a good third receiver. That's all I said. That's all I have to say. And they picked up Damian Harris from Patriots. So they picked up good running back and they still have decent wide receivers.
All right, good go off on the 49ers though. I don't like the 49ers.
Yeah, I don't like 49ers. Well, they're a good team in general. They're a little overrated in my opinion, just because like everybody gets masked by the system and the availability of a lot of the 49ers players is called into question a lot. I feel like this spot was actually split up. I was gonna say Dolphins, but they also tread the line between overrated and underrated a lot because it's like because they're also a quarterback going out with a concussion of being bad as well. But I think what I call upon here is the availability of their players because for the past like 3 or 4 seasons, it's been like the injury bug, like the training staff just does not do a good job there. Like everybody gets injured. Like the running backs, like week 2 maybe. Week
what about the defense though, bro?
The defense is good, but also Nick Bosa. Yeah, Nick Bosa gets injured all the time. What is it? Trey Flowers gets injured all the time. Travarius Ward gets injured all the time. It's just like they basically are an infirmary at this point. And so I call into question whether or not they're available because that's why they lost last year. Because look at all the injuries they suffered at quarterback. Like they go down to their 4th string. And the city's not great either. The city's overrated too. So there's that.
Have you ever been there?
No, but I know it's overrated.
It's a beautiful place.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's chilly here right now.
Yeah. We'll go and then we'll finish out with my third underrated team. I'm gonna say the Bucks.
Buccaneers.
I'm gonna homebody, bro. What do you there it is. We are. Who thinks we're gonna win more than like 8 games? Nobody. But guess what? Our defense is still pretty good. Our offensive weapons are still pretty good. Our line is also okay. Our quarterback play probably won't be that good. It's probably gonna be some of the worst in the NFL. But I think we could just squeeze out 9 wins to win our trash division. The Falcons always throw up on themselves. The Saints, Derek Carr is mid, and also their coach sucks. I mean, our coach sucks too, but we have a coach suck off. And the Panthers are going to go through some growing pains with Bryce Young. I think 8 wins the division again.
When's the
we'll
first
go
game?
to the playoffs. September. It's usually like the weekend of like September 10th, September 11th. It's September.
Okay.
So, we play the Vikings. I know that.
Okay.
No, I'll be a home. I'm gonna still ride with us being underrated. I think people probably project us at like 3 wins. So I guess if being underrated means you'll get more than 3 wins, then yeah, we're super underrated.
Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
I have a lot to say. Okay. The Bucks, AJ, I'm a Bucks fan. Okay. Let's put it this way. Let's put it straight. There's no way that we win the division. We are going to be terrible. And that is okay. Look, if you go and watch training camp clips, bro. I beg it. Go watch.
Underrated. Baker Mayfield could hit the broadside of a barn. He could hit a 50-yard piece of wood.
Dude, go watch training clip. Baker Mayfield. It's a 5-yard pass to the tight end. He overthrows him by 4 yards. Our quarterback play is going to kill us. We are going to finish in last place in this division. I don't care what the Panthers have.
All I
Brady
have to say
spoiled
is we
us.
want to. All I'll say is we want to change with Brad Johnson. That's all I have to say.
We did, but you got to think though. Like, look, this pains as a Bucks fan, and I don't think we're gonna go back to the days of Josh Freeman and all them and in the blackout days of the Bucks. But when we couldn't even watch games on live television here, but I don't think this is the year that we can say. I underrated, yes, because good Lord, we are like the favorites for the second, third pick in the draft. Like we are not going to be good. So they get the underrated, but at the same time, when your quarterback cannot he throws the ball 105 miles an hour. This is Jameis Winston 2.0.
We need Jameis Winston back.
I would love to have Jameis Winston back. He's better than
we would love to have Jameis Winston back. I'm joking. I'm joking, but I'm not. If I were to pick like a replacement, I'll take Seattle. I know people would probably say that they might be overrated as well, but like good young core. I also picked them as my sleeper Super Bowl pick last episode, but yeah, they're underrated. They got good talent.
Is that we have to accept being garbage again and enjoy that Super Bowl?
Pretty much, man.
Milk it as long as we can.
Is that what you as a Rams fan?
Yeah, I'm not a Rams fan, brother.
No.
Speaking of overrated, sorry.
Yeah, overrated the Rams.
Yeah, if them picks really worked out for them, right? Yeah.
All right, so just to recap, AJ, you have the Bucks, Lions, and you had the
Jaguars.
The Jaguars are underrated.
The Jaguars.
Okay,
yeah.
Your overrated being the Bears, the 49ers, and the Giants. Okay.
And the Giants.
Mm-hmm. AJ has the Bucks going undefeated this season, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. If we win a Super Bowl, that'd be amazing.
Like that's underrated right there. Underrated. All right, AJ, that was fun, dude. Lots of good laughs, bro. I think Josh fell out of his chair at one point there. So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Look, man, this has been fun. It's always fun doing these every week with you guys. But on behalf of the ZBK podcast, I'm Chris. It's been a pleasure talking sports with you guys this week. We will talk to you later. Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
See ya.
Peace and love.